Hello, this is the second video in learning how to head coach a St. Vincent de Paul speech team. When I first started coaching the speech team 6 years ago, I had really only contact with a few people in the office, and then also some email addresses. So I am leaving some tracks behind so people can follow how to head coach. This is just a list of some acronyms of the tournaments in a chronological order from last year, if it's interesting to anybody. But basically, I have another video in which I went over this a demonstration for planning for tournaments. This video is going to be about the remaining extras for coaching. So basically, we're going to be, besides planning for tournaments and taking the team there, you gotta practice for the tournaments, practice for all the events, and then you gotta go to the tournaments. And then what does that entail? And then any kind of extras. The extras are where I found there's a lot of fun. So did everything from our own St. Vincent de Paul tournament, the T-shirts, and even the service project at Life Care Center. This is a list right here of important email addresses. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to it. So basically, practicing for events, you just got to remember that there's a safe environment training, which is on a website called Virtus. The diocese requires it. You're required to do it as a parent in the Catholic school district. I looked at what's happened with Virtus recently for me is that I had my background check was expired. So basically, in this case, I went to Cindy in the office. Cindy Wolf will help you get certified, I guess, if you haven't yet. You should be doing that if you are volunteering to be with the kids. The rule still stands that you have to have more than one adult in, with the team, with the children in the room that you're going to be coaching in. So that's basically, this is for your safety and the kids' safety. Work with school and church offices for practice space. At the beginning of the year, around September, I usually make contact with Shirley Hemmer or the office staff, and they will schedule me. They do send out a letter to coaches in the middle of the summer, or I think it might even be spring. If you're a repeat customer, I found that this 2 to 4 spot on Saturdays works for me, and it works for the church. They hardly have any issues scheduling that. But I do take a second back burner to any kind of church activities like confirmation classes, confirmation retreats, mission trek retreats, those kind of things. I'll let them take those weekends, and then we figure out how to find practice somewhere else. An option to for rooms is to use the portable classrooms, 7th and 8th grade, or the junior high classrooms in the school. And all you need to do for that is just ask Mrs. Stewart for that, and then pick up the keys during the week, or have her send it home with your child, and then you just return it to the office the following week. So that I've done that once or twice. You can do it however you want. Really, there's nothing set in stone in that case. Stay up to date with the tournament director communications. So yeah, being part of their mailing list is probably a good first step. Stay in touch. If your email changes, of course, you got to make sure that you're still getting those. Have fun teaching public speaking skills. So this is the bulk of it. The bulk of the fun. I've built up basically from scratch, really. A lot of different types of things, and I will leave this with whoever wants to take over. But basically, I got, from 2013, I have all kinds of. This is a. This right here is a drive, a USB drive that I had. Anything from all the different tournaments that we've done in the past. We've done like Eastside Catholic, Hawkinson, Kamiak, all these different ones you've never seen. Maybe the tournament died down and they don't host that tournament anymore. Various things, that I've picked up and just squirreled away. I have cuts of poems, those kind of things. So other thing too, we have letters of recommendation. One, as a head coach, it's always good. It's always good to to take care of your kids who are going into high school. Some might be going into a high school that might acceptance. So I've done those letters of recommendation. So you're certainly a good resource for them. I keep photos, different events that we don't normally typically do. Debate, assembly demonstration. One year we were in fear of, going from like 6 members to 2 members. So we did in 2015, we did a speech team demonstration for. This got a lot of people interested in speech team. This was basically like we got 15 minutes on the floor in the assembly, in one of the assemblies, to demo in front of the school, drum up some interest for the next year. Hasn't been an issue lately since we've had over 20 people on the team. Practice exercises. So where I get this, really I just make it up. Yeah, one year I thought we would try some type of format for the entire practice, and so we would start off with some, everybody take a role, like be a master of practice, an MC or something, and then a games host, a warm-up coach. The kids actually run the practice, and then like a timekeeper and note taker. So this little idea that I had came from Toastmasters. I was part of a Toastmasters club, and there's a very the structured type of meetings. This didn't really stick with our club, but it's an idea that I have anyway. But other things like ring exercise. I've had this. A lot of this kind of stuff are just ideas that I come up with. Tongue twisters, theater game exercises. Some of these came from the internet. If I do a little research, find something. I do a lot of my recent research with YouTube. Let's see. I used to keep a running roster in spreadsheet format. You could certainly do something like that, but it's a lot of work. I'm probably more relaxed about that nowadays. I have things like a team agreement that came up as an idea to kind of get people committed, be able to give you feedback as to what they're interested in and good at. This I didn't really like this as much, but the way I kind of coach from practice to practice is that I come up with an idea and then everybody does it, and so I try to, across the whole year, cover everything that would apply to all of the different events, but I don't want to pigeonhole anybody into saying, oh, you're a storybook specialist or you're an oratory person, and I want the kids to actually get the full treatment and try all of the different events, and I try to encourage that as much as I can. But certainly, these are just ideas that have come up in the past, so please, feel free to make it your own as a coach. I have some things on the St. Vincent de Paul website, STVS.org. Speech team page, and this is really old. You can see little Antoinette and Eric Anderson. But anyway, yeah, I don't know how many people go and see this, but really, these are aged quite a bit already. I've posted a few things on there. Never really had a reason to update it because nobody goes to it. I do a lot of communication via email. So basically, that's a really good thing. This is where I get a lot of my energy as a coach. Have fun teaching the public speaking skills, and you and the kids will benefit from it. Go to tournaments. Work with the school offices on permission slips. So again, this is Mrs. Wolf. Attached to the permission slips for the upcoming events. Recently, what she had told me is that she'd rather give me the permission slips and then the communications go directly through me. She prefers this because there's a lot of paper traffic that goes through the school offices, and it's just extra envelopes that need to be dispensed. It'd probably be best to just kind of, come up with a list of tournaments and events like this one right here has a permission slip that's required for any kind of group activity, like going to the service project that we do at Life Care Center. If you do that, you need a permission slip for that. As far as going to tournaments, figure out the costs to go to tournaments and how to pay. Again, I'm trying to minimize the accounting, and the paper traffic and the envelope traffic that goes through the office and me. Figure out judging requirements and solicit volunteers. So, not just volunteers for judging, but volunteers for coaching. We really need, with a larger team, it was a lot easier with like 5 people, 5 kids or something like that, and it could just be me and a parent to be there for safe environment reasons, and I do all the coaching. But now that there's 20, it's always good to have extra volunteer coaches to open up another room or another part of the room to listen to a smaller group of kids. Judging requirements are important because at a tournament, they usually ask for judging volunteers. Most of them say one adult volunteer judge for every 5 events entered for the team. The other things are extras. So after each tournament, I send an article to Mrs. Stewart for the communication envelope. So here is an example. The important thing here is that you know that Mrs. Stewart needs material for the current week's communication envelope on Tuesday. Tuesday morning is the kind of the deadline. So if you have a Saturday tournament, you write something like this. Let's see what else. Review ballots. So another thing after tournaments. Here's an example of ballots. Okay, so in this AMHS ballots, I actually scanned these in. I haven't seen anything really inappropriate from other judges written in these ballots. You can't please everybody, with your performance. But every now and then you get really good scores throughout the whole tournament, and you end up on the podium. So that's basically it. I hope this all helps. Thanks.